Hey guys, okay, some girls reporting on, I don't know where the hell I'm posting this. I suppose I could put it on some girls. I don't know. Nobody goes there. It's not a very interesting channel anyway. I'm not at the moment anyway, but I wanted to talk. I'm just buzzing around Twitter, aka X, and I just wanted to talk about. I hope my voice sounds good here. My mic is kind of far away, and I have my little heater on because I am absolutely freezing. Um, it's still like in the 20s here, with with winds like between 10 and like 25-mile-an-hour winds, and I am. Oh, I was just outside, and it's like freezing. Okay, so Sparkles does here's my opinion. Sparkles doesn't know how to cook. Um a Megan, aka Megan, she doesn't know how to cook. Okay. She doesn't know how to bake. She doesn't have culinary skills. And making jam, I go back to this. I remember what grade was I in? 10th grade. And we took home ec, and the teacher was such a dork. And I mean, she was very nice to all of us. I couldn't even believe how nice she was. And I think one or two guys actually were in the class. And I had such a weird schedule. My last 3 years in high school, I just had all my credits literally right away. I can honestly say I do not know how that happened. You needed, I think, 18.2. It was real weird to graduate. And I got, for some reason, most of them in the first. I don't even know how. Um, the first 3 years, and then by the time, well, what do I mean 3 years? Okay, ninth and 10th grade. By the time I was a junior and senior, it was like by the time my last 3 semesters of high school, um, were up. I basically had nothing to do, and it was quite frankly a waste of time for me. So, but I do remember as a sophomore, we had to take home ec, or it was a class that I was in. I don't know. I didn't really have a choice, I guess, based on your, entry tests. I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know. They used to do what was called IQ and Iowa tests. And so I had a few classes here and there that weren't serious. I don't know. I was in the higher level English classes, and then history class, we got to choose topics to present. It was really weird. Okay, so, and then, I took Spanish. I don't know how the hell I passed that. I had 2 years of that. Algebra, I don't, a B, how did I do it? I don't know. Uh, I know this sounds really bad, but it was, some people aren't cut out for school. Even high school, believe it or not. I know. Back in the 70s, that's what it was like. But I did learn. I did learn many very good skills, and then I did take college courses that I did very well in. So I had this home ec class, and I think one of the first things we did was we made strawberry jam and jelly. We made all kinds of different jams, and I would sit at home. I'd go out, buy the ingredients, and I'd start making the shit. And then we were baking bread, and working with yeast breads and muffins and all this stuff. And I just started, I'd go home. I don't know. My parents left me alone a lot. I talk about this since I was 12. So I think I was 16, and I would just make all this shit. And then my mom, my dad, whoever was around the house at the time would say, well, can you make more of that? I'd say, sure. Okay. So the shit I'm seeing Markle make is shit from 10th grade home ec class. Is age 14. I mean, I was held back, not intentionally held back, but my mother, the cutoff date, I was born at the end of the year. And instead of forcing me into school earlier, she waited, whatever, doesn't matter. December 6th was the cutoff, and I was born just days before that. Okay. Yes, I'm a Sag. And so the shit I'm seeing this bitch make is, I mean, she has no idea what cooking is. I mean, you go back to, my neighbor Maria and the crap she used to have on the stove. I mean, she was going, and then she was from Bavaria and came over here after World War II. I mean, the crap that woman had going, it smelled pretty strong. You could smell it all the way down the block. She would be canning. She had a separate kitchen in the basement where she canned. She did this, she did that. They had a wood burning stove down there. Ugh. And we used to, oh my God, as little kids. Ugh. So what I'm seeing from Sparkles is really kind of jack squat. And then my mother-in-law, who's dead, the crap she made, I mean, Julia Child was like her idol. One of them. She even, I don't know what she did exactly. At one point would put, I think, I know you guys won't believe this, spun lettuce dry in the spin cycle in her washer. She was embarrassed to admit it, but I heard it floating around the kitchen or the dining room table one night. And it was her big thing. And I'm going to be honest with you. I at first, I mean, I'm dressed kind of punkish, 90-degree weather, no bra. And I'm like, okay, you want me to go to dinner looking like this? Short shorts. And I'm like, are you kidding? Oh yeah. And it was, I didn't have a jacket, very uncomfortable. But I mean, full, huge dinners, desserts, lengthy sit downs, listening to her family argue amongst themselves. It was so uncomfortable. I just wanted to get out of there. It was like an episode, a very, like a serious drama on television. I was just kind of like, these people are all like 20 years older than me. They're all completely off their rockers and drunk. But the food was unreal. And then, okay, so that's where I'm coming from. And the restaurants here, anyway, most of them aren't operational right now. I knew everywhere to go, and it was so good. And I will tell you, after Obama was inaugurated, no one made money and no one went out to eat anymore. And even in Chicago, I had specific restaurants I went to there. They all closed too. And you try telling someone, well, yeah, that's what happens when you put, some sort of a bizarre Keynesian, fascist, socialistic, bizarre tribalist man in office. And what do you expect? Of course, you're going to end up having to close your restaurant. I could tell you several. Berghoff's is one. On off of Michigan Avenue. In the financial district. Well, I'm sorry, near the train station in downtown Chicago. Another one was Kiefer's. Gone. And the second these places closed, the rumor was out there that the owners were like, holy shit, why did I do that? One of them had been there since the roaring 20s and during Prohibition and all that crap. So they were really historic and fun and vibrant and unbelievably good. And just gone. I mean, I could start ticking off things. So Meghan Markle makes jam and thinks in 2025 there is going to be a market for that, when quite frankly, one could quite easily buy some strawberries and whip them up on their own. Now, I live in a trendy neighborhood right now. And I looked over my grocery bill yesterday, and to be frank with you, it's actually quite I'd say reasonable. It's not, I'm not saying cheap. Oh, it's really cheap. It's like, it's lower cost than going to a Kroger, even though it is local and organic. But the quality of the produce is fantastic. And I do just very simple things. I don't do a hell of a lot. I've never really been into that. Other people around me have been, but I'm not into cooking. But I can tell you, I know many people who are. And that chick doesn't know how to do SHIT. Putting pretzels from one bag to another? Are you kidding me? How is that even on a streaming platform? She's getting paid millions for that? Because she married a doofus prince that was nothing more than a drug addict? And his whole regimen in wherever he was fighting in Afghanistan was on coke, and half of them were kicked out or fined or something like that. I'm not impressed. And plus, he looks like a doofus, and she does too. And As Ever by Meghan. I mean, what kind of name is that? As Ever. What does it mean? As Ever. What does that mean? Just like with my mom, has dementia so bad. She doesn't remember anything. And she says stuff to me, and then she hangs up. And then I'll call her back 12, 13, 14 times, and she'll say, well, I didn't hear it. You call me back? Really? I'm like, oh my God. I've been getting chest pains from this, guys, which I'm worried about because I used to work out every night and I can't do it right now, although I suppose I could start implementing something that would be upper body, that would be aerobic. But I mean, holy crap. I forgot. Now I lost my train of thought with that. Oh, she's got a crepe mix? Well, just go buy some Bisquick. Or make it by hand. For God's sakes, like I'm saying, if you have any family roots or any recipes or anything like that, it's sort of like, wow. I don't know how to. I know how to make pie crust from scratch. My grandmother taught me. I know how to make all puddings on the stove from scratch. I know how to make like a lemon meringue pie from scratch. Everything from scratch. Not using pudding mix. She doesn't know which I actually I've been able to do that since I was 12. So what Megan is doing is like teenage recipes, uh, because when I was growing up, there were no cell phones. You had 3 channels on TV, and what you did was you got out recipe books, and your mom was in the house, or she taught you how to not burn yourself and scald yourself to death and burn the house down, and you did stuff. Or there would be someone standing over you telling you how to stir it or something. That's what she's doing. How this is attractive to anyone is absolutely beyond me. So I was sitting here thinking I thought, you had, especially in the 90s, very trendy cooking shows, very, very trendy. I mean, even I, in the 80s, watched the Galloping Gourmet. Was that his name? Or, yeah, no, the Frugal Gourmet. I would go out jogging, then watch that and drink coffee and eat cereal or something. I you know, oh boy. So I was sitting there thinking, the one thing that there was a show that I absolutely loved that used to be on in the early twos. The reruns on PBS every Sunday afternoon. And I always, and they stopped putting these on. And now they just have these weird reality shows, which are just bullshit too. With some big, huge fat woman with pink hair, tats all over her neck, and body piercings, and you're supposed to take them seriously. So let's refresh our memory. This is from 1996 remastered. This is interesting, and these women can cook.
Grab that crab, Clarissa. Eat that meat.
I don't know if they were lesbians, a couple or not, but this is what Harry and Meghan need to do. I once said, how about, Harry, get a basket, put it on a bike, go over to England and ride it with his security detail from fishing town to fishing town, collecting different things. And then Meghan can be in some kitchen somewhere in some, 18th century farmhouse and, put her damn recipes together. You know what? She doesn't know how to do anything. She doesn't have children. She's lying. She's making this shit up. So this would be Meghan, of course, driving. And then Harry would be sitting there going, please, Meghan.
Meet Jennifer. Why doesn't that feather look pleasant? Fasten your taste buds for gastronomic ride. Cause us 2 fat ladies are itching up to get into your kitchen. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Fish and shellfish. Ugh.
Look, Jennifer, there's Mevagisset.
Oh, they're in Cornwall. You guys, I don't know what this is like right now. I haven't been out there since 2009. Oh, well, in England. No, I mean, this reminds me of the different fishing towns in Ireland. I haven't been out to the seaside towns. The last time I was in the UK was 2012. And then I just curtailed my adventures for a while. And then I got into this stupid fucking accident. Well, I mean, I was, busy working on getting my real estate license. And then, I had several different things going on in my family where it was one after the other, after the other, after the other. And it's still ongoing. And then my own personal injury. And I am, and then court trials and all this shit. And I am honestly, you guys, I'm concerned about my health because I don't feel, well, obviously, I mean, I have stresses that are, but anyway, so when we get to this, yeah, ignore some of this shit. Mega Gissy, no, Miva Gissy, Cornwall, where where we used to drive around many times, like 9 times I've done this, where you're driving around these seaside towns, you're not taking the main highways, and then you're stopping off for lunch somewhere. Ugh, the best food, I swear. Of course, now these towns that I am thinking of in my head are all encampments for, quote, migrants, quote.
Charming. I do love this part of Cornwall.
The restaurant's in a perfect...
But see what I'm saying? The Harry and Meghan should like do something like this. Isn't Harry like this skilled man and Meghan this skilled woman? I mean, her extensions would fall off. So get on your, since you're such a, they're green, right? So get a Prius or some shit or some electric car and drive around and just find some areas of England and find some kitchen and rent some old farmhouse, and Harry can go out and get all the food and seafood and Meghan can cook it up there. She doesn't, because she doesn't know the basic skills of any cooking. Buying Bisquick, repackaging it, and then selling it. That's almost like she's like Aunt Jemima. Aunt Majega. She's just doing Aunt Jemima pancake mix. Personally, I prefer Crusties. It's good for when you're out camping. She wouldn't even know how to do that. Oh, how do I build a fire? How do I make something over the fire? Ugh.
perfect position, on the quay, practically in the water.
Well, we'll make some glorious fish dishes with the sea right on our doorstep.
They're going to a fish market.
There we go.
Well,
We're here!
here we are, the shark's fin.
The shark's fin. What a lovely name.
Well, there are lots of sharks around here, apparently.
Not such a lovely thing.
No,
Don't like them at all. Yuck.
they're quite good eating, though.
Oh, they're excellent. Look rather like swordfish or something like that. But I think they're very, very evil fish.
Do you know, when I was in Singapore, there was a man who had a shark had sort of got its teeth round the top of his head all the way round.
Charming.
And he used to wear a hat, and he'd charge you 10 Singapore dollars, and he'd take his hat off, and you'd see these tooth marks all the way around the top of his head.
Wonderful.
Right, now let's just dump our stuff and go out and get some good raw material.
Now, this is a nice little harbour.
Isn't it pretty?
Yeah.
Lots of
It
fish,
is
I hope.
very cool,
Dear
but
old
I'm going to go
bite
to
done
when
as
they're in
well.
the kitchen.
Lovely
I hate to tell you, Debbie, you look like...
with some white wine and vermouth. Clarissa's going to...
Look at this, they're out on the boat.
Coming up.
Can you picture Meghan on a boat like this? She'd have to have her photography crew. Her extensions would be like, you could see the glue pieces. I shouldn't be making fun of anyone right now. So let me tell you. Let's go. Let's do that.
Start bowling soon. I've come to your mother.
Captain, art thou sleeping down below?
I'm having the pleasure of cooking scallops with leeks and flavoured with some white wine and vermouth. Clarissa's going to do something quite different.
I'm going to do crab for my seafood dish. Crab, corn and coriander fritters. I'm going to clean this crab. You have to take the claws off.
Okay, so these people are skilled chefs, skilled cooks. But what they're doing, if you practiced it a few times and followed it, you could do this. But then you have to have a few more skills. She is pimping herself out by making some fucking jelly. I mean, damn, if I buy all organic bread right now that is made locally. It is so good. And I was so bummed out when they ran out of it yesterday when I went shopping. I was like, damn it. I was so pissed off. I just was like, do I have to come back tomorrow? The bakery is, I don't know, a 7-minute drive from here. Oh, so good. So I had to go with my second favorite, which I don't like as much, but and they make bagels and English muffins. So just a bagel or something where yeah, I mean, delish, love it. But in all honesty, do you have time for that too? Just do people have time for that right now? Don't people most people drive through Dunkin'? Not me. I drive through fast food places when I have family members that are ill requesting me to do so. That is the only time. Or, when I used to rep for doctors a few years back, and they enjoyed that, or that was normal. I would do special things, though. I would have everything cut up and put on trays and shit. But that's a whole nother thing. All right, so here we go.
This is a whole crab which has just been boiled. And everybody thinks that there are large chunks of the crab that are poisonous and that you can't eat, which is a complete fallacy. The only bit, as you'll see when I open it, that you can't eat are the dead men's fingers, which you wouldn't want to eat anyway. These horrible bits that look like used latex or I don't know quite what. And you really wouldn't want to eat those. I mean, there'd be no temptation at all. So I'm going to get all the meat fiddled out of this bit. There's a lot of meat in here. It's a very good job to give to your 10-year-old children. I remember when we were children all sitting around with skewers fiddling.
It's a good job to give your 10-year-old children. And this would be with my maternal grandmother, and she would give us jobs like this. And well, she was actually a baker, and she worked for A&P Bakery and was in the Bakers Union. So she would teach me how to bake. Unbelievable. And every now and then I just search back and I think back to those times, and I'll be in the middle of doing something and I'll forget. And then I have to almost like take a break or just start over when I'm rolling dough or something. I'm not kidding. She does not, that girl does not know what the hell she's doing.
Fiddling out the bits of crab. It was great fun. But anyway, whatever, it's going to take me a bit of time because I haven't got any 10-year-old children. So, Jennifer, do you want to get on with yours for the moment?
Yes, well, my leeks are practically ready because I thought I'd get them out of the way. Simmer them with just 8 spoonfuls of water until they become sort of almost like pale green spaghetti. And we'll keep them aside and we'll get on with the scallops. When you first buy them, this is what they'll look like, which may frighten you. But if you ask your kind fishmonger, he'll remove all that for you. But he probably won't do it all, and you'll end up with this charming little fellow. And he'll have this little bit of black here, which is a bit of intestine, I think, really. It doesn't do anybody any harm, but we'll remove that. And a pair of scissors is quite an easy thing. Useful, you know, you can just snip it.
A kitchen shears. That's another thing. A kitchen shears is a very good tool. Does she have one of those? She probably doesn't know what the fuck it is.
And that peel it away, you see, like that. And the ounce of butter in there.
Notice how they all have their little cocktails out while they're doing it. This is what this girl needs to do. She's a bore.
And we have some nice little chopped shallots. These have got to melt, get soft, because you don't want them sort of feeling
Rubbery.
al dente in the sauce. But it shouldn't, it doesn't take long, it doesn't take very long.
No. Shallot.
There we are, now we'll add
Garlic.
half a glass of wine, white wine.
There you go.
Whoosh.
Woo!
And some vermouth, dry white vermouth, which gives a very good flavour. And I like having vermouth around because I'm not tempted to drink it, but it's very good for cooking. Now we'll put the scallops in. Separate the coral from the white bit. There's a beautiful one. That's a wonderful colour.
Oh, isn't that glorious? Yes.
They now come.
So these are people that are actually into cooking and food and content and skill and knowledge and can just whip and just know what this shit is. Sparkles doesn't know shit about shit. But what I'm saying, if she wants something to be a hit, something like this, I think these, I would love, I really am bummed out. I can't get decent food anymore. You know, there's a place down the block. You go in there, once in a while you're like, wow, this is great. But I'd say 85% of the time it's like, why did I just pay $20 for this plus drinks? You know? And I'm talking about just a corner pub. But people go there because it's the corner pub, right? Well, it's a restaurant. All right. And a bar.
To a simmer. They take about 2 minutes. Don't overcook them. It's better they're better raw than overcooked. So then when they're done, I'm going to press the juice out from the leeks and put that in the bottom of the pan. And then we get the scallops and we take them out and we put them all on top. Look how beautiful they are. With that pale, pale green and the coral. Lovely.
Yum.
Now we can have our fun making the sauce.
Fresh seafood.
Always fun.
Crap.
Get this hot again. And we want the juices from the leeks as well into there. We want to reduce this so you can bubble away like mad. Now I've got a lovely bowl of
Even I know what the hell a reduction is. Do you think Megan does?
Cornish cream, and we'll add that. This is nice and rich. I like rich food. None of this nonsense about yogurt instead of cream. Yogurt is not instead of cream. Yogurt is very good for your breakfast, or if you have a poor tummy, or if you're a vegetarian or something. But for cream, there is nothing better than cream. Nothing better than cream. It's unctuous, it's rich, and it collects everything together. And you can't beat it. That's all bubbled and a bit thick.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Okay.
Now we just pour it all over our dish.
So good. Holy crap. Yo. Oh boy. Okay.
Isn't that pretty?
Well, now I'm getting hungry. And I fast a lot, so all right. Well, I guess that's it for now. Let's see if we can get to any.
Well, poor wet feet.
Well, they were right there. You know, they lived right there. And she could have learned how to do these skills, or I don't know. But instead, she's sitting in a rented kitchen somewhere outside of LA, taking pretzels from one bag into the other. Could someone tell me how that's even remotely interesting? And for Harry, for that matter, leaving his heritage to make jelly with Meghan and to raise 2 fake children. Okay, I don't know, guys. Let's see if they're doing it. Oh.
Some go that way. There you go, my lovely flakes of coley, which have been slightly poached. And I'm going to put in a good slurp of lovely anchovy essence, which is one of my most favourite old-fashioned essences,
Here.
and brings out the flavour a treat.
Going to lard it with anchovies. You'll probably know about larding because it's normally something you do with game or other very dry meats to put moistness through them. And this is my larding needle. Look at my nice larding needle.
It's a wonderful weapon.
I know, stick it in the burglar.
I found one of those that belonged to, I think, my paternal grandmother. I had no idea what the hell it was. Now I do.
And if you haven't got one, then you just use a sharp knife with a point on it. And so you just make a hole, you see? Make a hole in. And then you tuck your anchovy in. And just keep pushing it in patiently. It's all very well to have fast food, and you need it in this day and age, but now and again it's nice to do things sort of slowly and gradually.
Very good for the busy businessman to come home and make a serious meal. It will calm them down no end. In fact, I do know some who do. They come home and they settle down and cook a proper dinner. And they find it relaxing, you know, after those ghastly things they do in the city with stocks and shares and destroying each other's reputations.
I think we'll leave it there. We'll put it back a few seconds. Meghan should heed this.
Slowly and gradually.
Very good for the busy businessman to come home and make a serious meal. It will calm them down no end. In fact, I do know some who do. They come home and they settle down and cook a proper dinner. And they find it relaxing, you know, after those ghastly things they do in the city with stocks and shares and destroying each other's reputations.
And now
Okay, guys. I hope you guys got something out of this. All right.